to another episode of Living the Florida Lifestyle. I'm Patricia Baker, here with my co-host and partner in real estate,
Michael Baker. How's it going, Mom?
It's going great. How are you doing?
It's been a good year so far, and I'm excited for today's episode because we're going to actually dive into something that a lot of people are talking about right now. It's the home buying process and the fears that are coming along with it. Buying a home is definitely the largest financial decision you're probably ever going to make. And let's be real, it's overwhelming and confusing.
Absolutely. But the good news is that this is actually a great time to buy. The market has changed. There's more inventory. Did you know that Florida has more homes for sale than any place else in the country? We have less competition and more opportunities for buyers than we've seen in a long time.
That's right. So today, what we're going to do is break down a lot, not every single step, but a lot of the home buying process. Let's talk about the biggest fears, the things that buyers have, and how they're going to overcome them. Explain why working with a real estate team like us makes all the difference.
Because let's be honest, Michael and I bring different strengths to the table. And that's what makes working with a team so valuable. You're not just getting one realtor, you're getting two experts with unique skills that help guide you every step of the way.
And we want to hear from you. If you have questions about buying a home, drop a comment, send us a message. We've got plenty of social media opportunities to be able to reach out to us. All of our links are down below. Your question could be featured in a future episode.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. All right, let's get into it. What does today's home buying process really look like? And what do buyers need to know?
Well, Mom, I think the market has changed. Back in the day, I think before our time,
Not before my time.
you'd walk into a real estate office. The real estate agent would be sitting at a desk, and they'd open up this book with pictures of houses that are for sale, and it would be one sheet after another, and that's where the listings were. It's a little bit different nowadays. Nowadays, you can go online and search for your house. You can search throughout the internet in multiple locations. Now, there are pluses and minuses to that. And Mom, you may or may not have a comment about that.
Well, let me tell you, the number one minus about this is you buyers. Somehow you think that we are mind readers. So I get comments. I go, I'd like to know more about this house. No name, no phone number, and a faulty email address. How do you think we're supposed to answer that? Or are you just sitting up there saying, let me see if I can get that realtor to really think she's going to make a sale, and then ha, 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 I'm going to fool her. That's not the game here. We're really working hard for you when you're looking to buy a home. So number one, in the buying process, be honest with your realtor. We don't mind you saying, hey, I'm not going to buy for 2 more years. That's okay. And we don't mind you going up on our websites and searching. But we do mind when you say, I got to buy a house in 30 days. I've got the cash. I'm ready to go. Let's go. And you have us take you out. You have us do the search. And then at the end you go, oh yeah, well, I really didn't have that. That's not going to happen with us. Because the first thing we're going to do with you, because we're together as a team, is get you pre-approved. Before we start looking at homes, we do get the pre-approval process. And why is that important? Years ago, and I'm saying years ago, my husband and I went to buy a car, and we were turned down. And we couldn't figure out why we were turned down. So I happened to have been in the credit union where he worked, and he was a printer. And they said, well, we're not supposed to really show you, but it says that your husband hasn't made his child support payments. And I looked at him. Well, number one, we didn't have any children that we were making child support payments to. So she pulled the file, and this guy had 1-digit difference in his social security number. So they immediately reversed it and everything went fine. But if you wait until you find that house and then you're ready to buy and you find out that somebody has a child that they're not making payments to, but nobody tells you and you don't know why you were turned down. So, number one thing that we want to do with you is get you pre approved. It's not because we're being nosy. Mike isn't really caring. He already has it figured out for you, numbers. He's a numbers man, and I'm a story person. And that's our big difference. And it's like he and I don't even speak the same language. We both can sell very, very well. Mike, when you hear me sell somebody, what do you think?
Well, sometimes I'll go out there, we'll listen, and I'll pay attention to some of the things that mom says. And she'll talk about the dream of the house and how you can picture different things in there. And she'll paint this wonderful picture. And all I see are walls that can be painted. And I see for an investor side, what you can do rent wise, return on investment. I see the numbers that can be done. I talk about what the numbers could be in the future based on attrition, where the market is, how many houses could sell in the near future. I start talking about where the numbers could take you and where you could go financially. I start looking at your future, where the dollars could take you by growing that equity in the home. And mom's talking about making it a dream house to live in and painting pretty pictures. We're getting to the same end point. We're finding you a home that you're going to love and live in, but we have different roads to get there. That's what makes us a great team, is that we have a different way of talking about the same house, which makes it. I mean, I will sit back and I'll listen, and it'll hurt. It'll make my head spin, and sometimes it'll make it hurt, which is fine because I know that there are times I talk numbers, and mom goes 1 and 1 is 11.
And I have clients. I took one of my clients who has bought quite a few homes for me, and he and I we were driving to look at some homes, and I commented that we had just discovered this massive difference between Mike and myself. And I said, "Yeah, I tell a story, and he tells the numbers." And he was quiet, and he goes, "You sold me that house on a story." I said, "Did I?" He said, "Yes. You spoke about the water. You told me about my boat was going to go. You told me everything, what was going to happen. All of it happened, and I love that house, but I never thought, you never talked money." I go, "No, I don't talk money." I let the mortgage brokers do that. If you don't like the house, what the heck are you worrying about the money for? I've actually had people go so involved with the money, 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 money. Oh, this is $14, too much money. I go, "Do you like the house?" "Oh, we love the house." "You're going to throw it away for $14?" I mean, we're talking $14. And they go, "Well, we got to get a good deal." I said, "Well, I hope you find a house you hate, but it's the best deal in the country." And they look at me and they go, I go, "Yeah, it doesn't make much sense, does it?" And then they buy the house that we're going to buy for $14 more than they should. But you know what? They love the house. And that's what you need to understand. Buyers sometimes get hung up on the wrong thing. Number one, you're going to live in this. This is a building you are going to go into every single day. You're going to put your head on a pillow in that house. You're going to raise your family. You're going to have your grandchildren come visit you. You're going to cry. You're going to laugh. And wouldn't it be terrible to be in a house you hated, but you made $14? You got it cheaper? No, I want you to buy a house that you fall in love with. Mike, do you agree with me on that?
I do agree with you on that, and I get, like I said, we get to the same ending point, because I do talk about when someone walks into a house, we both observe them when they're walking through a house where they don't like a house, their shoulders are drooping, and they're not really. But when they find that house, their shoulders run back, and I like to say it's the giddy factor. They get giddy about the house. They start talking about where things go, and once that happens, then the conversations about how I talk to people changes compared to how you talk to people, but we all end up at the same location. So I'm not trying to point anybody away from buying a house based on cost. I'm just explaining to them the value of the house based on the neighborhood, based on the numbers. And we, like I said, we are telling the same story with different brushes.
Right. And we've sold, and the beauty part of this is we do have the experience and the history to go with it. I've been a realtor for 20 years and have sold hundreds and hundreds of houses all over this coast. I've got sold from Pinellas County, Hillsborough County, all the way down Down to Fort Myers, I think, is as far south as I've gone. I used to live in Naples, so I know Naples, but I haven't sold in Naples. We have good friends down in Naples that we just send the business down there to them, and they send business up here to us. Referral business is very strong in the real estate business. So that's another thing. If you're selling your home in South Carolina and you're moving here, and one of the questions we'll say, is your house on the market yet? And you'll say, no, we're going to find a house first. In this market, that's hard. But we say, well, we have, because I and Mike go to the national conventions in Las Vegas every year and find out, we meet people. And so we meet agents who do the same things that we do, have the same values. Then we can give that person to you. They will find that house for you while you're down here looking down, and we work as a team. So there's a lot of different things that we do as the Baker Global team with other teams around the country. But the main object is for you to get rid of your house up north, buy a house down here, or put that house up there for rent, or keep them both for you to go back and forth. Doesn't matter. There's all kinds of stories, and we love to hear them.
And some of the things that are going on right now, talking stories and talking about facts of what's happening. Last year, the U.S. home sales fell to the lowest level in nearly 30 years. But what we're seeing now is the highest amount of inventory. Now, we're seeing an inventory here in Florida where the number was 1 in 5 homes for sale in the United States are for sale here in the state of Florida. So there's a lot of inventory. And as a buyer, that gives you a lot of opportunities to go search and find. Now, here in our area, due to the fact that we had some storms last year, we have some homes that are for sale that need some work. So that's a different type of marketplace. It depends on what you're looking for. The market has got plenty of homes for sale. So our job is to help you find what you're looking for. So a conversation always begins in, what is it you're looking for? What's your goal? What kind of a home are you looking for? Is it a second home? Is it a vacation home? Is it a permanent home? Is it a retirement? Are you moving your family with you? So that way we've got plenty of opportunities to find them here because the market is saturated. Here in the Hillsborough, Manatee, and Sarasota counties, we've got nearly 16,000 homes for sale. A lot of homes, a lot of opportunities. We can find it. We have to be, but in order to find what you're looking for, that's the conversation that goes back and forth and being honest with us. Tell us what you're looking for. If you're talking to 5 or 6 realtors, you know what? We're all looking at the same houses, but we may hear different things. So interview your realtor. Find that one that you connect with. We think that we're a great team to work with because we do have a lot of experience. So let's talk about it and find out, and then go out there and find that home for you. And that's what we do.
One of the things that I will ask you is, what is your budget? And people say, oh, it doesn't matter. Are you going to get a mortgage or cash? Oh, well, most of it will be cash. All right. When you say most of it's going to be cash, guess what? That's a mortgage. Even if you just mortgage $1 of it, you have a whole financing thing that has to go through. And it doesn't matter. Oh, I love that one. I go, a great house just came on the market this week. I'd love to show it to you. It's only $19 million. And they go, I can't afford that. I said, you just told me it doesn't matter. And then they laugh, and then they tell me how much money they can spend. Now, I can't assume, because there are people, they're billionaires down here living in $200,000 houses. That because they know what they want, why they want it. They're buying it for their daughter. They're buying it for themselves. They don't want a big mansion down here. They just want to escape. So we listen. I don't know. I have heard that if you were a very wealthy person and you came to an agent and you say, I only want to spend $300,000, but they know you're a multimillionaire. So now they take you to the $800-900 million houses. And you're saying, I only want to spend $300,000, but they know you can't afford it. We don't do that. I hear what you say. I take you to the number that you want. However, many, many times, the $300,000 home is a picture you have drawn of me of $1 million home. So I will show you all these $300,000. I can tell you're really discouraged. So then I'll sneak in $1 million home or a $700,000 home. And then you go, yeah. I go, well, now it's your decision. I showed you what you told me. And now I'm telling you what you're thinking. So I can sell them both. Which one do you really want? And then it's up to you, the buyer, to decide whether what you said is what you want or what you dream is what you want. And that's where Mike and I come in. We listen to you. We really listen. We don't determine upfront what you should buy. We help you buy what you want to buy. How's that? Simple story.
That's exactly. And then the next step, once we find that house, then it depends on how we negotiate the offer. Now, if they want X amount of dollars for the house, but we want to be able to negotiate to get you the best deal in this marketplace, the current situation where we're living in, where we've got a lot of inventory, not as many buyers, it gives us an opportunity to be able to walk into a house with a listing. Now, I don't believe that the proper way is to go in and on a $500,000 house and offer a $200,000 offer. That's just not the way the world works, and we're not going to do that. I mean, sorry, if you're looking for that real estate agent, you're not looking for us. We're working. We want to work on the transaction to make sure we get the right house at the right price, and I do the number crunching. I mean, I'm real good at that. Mom's real good. Mom actually is really good at the number crunching, even though she doesn't want to talk about it. We know what the house is worth. And so what that point allows us to negotiate for you and get concessions. Get the seller to offer to get things changed, maybe fix some things. And that all boils down for the offer. Then we get the home inspection done, which we allow the home inspector that goes in there. And we're going to have a home inspector come in here very shortly. I know we've talked about it, but I actually had a conversation. So we got one coming. And we're going to talk about what they do and some of the things they find and how that helps the process. Because when you're buying a home, it's not just you're not finding a house, putting money down and walking away, you're done. You're hiring a whole team between us, the mortgage, the home inspection, the whole process. There's a whole group of people involved in the home buying process. And that's what we really do. And then it's not done once we close because we don't ever feel like you're ever gone at that point. So that's kind of the joy of working with us, is that we're a team all the way through. Now, we are the bigger global team, and we consider ourselves, when you come on part of it, the family, you're part of our group forever, and we like to deal with it that way. So the concessions, as a matter of fact, I did a video recently talking about getting sellers to offer concessions to buyers to help incite them and help them to buy the house. So there's a lot of ways to motivate the seller with a good price and a good negotiation skills. Mom, any stories that you've got recently regarding any of those negotiating things that have happened?
As a matter of fact, yes, we've just actually negotiated a home that was probably one of the hardest ones that we've sold. It had a lot of pitfalls in it. And between the buyer and the seller, one decided actually the roof had an air conditioner on it laying down. And if you put a new roof on and touch that part of the roof, you had to take the air conditioning down and set it up because now the new permit stages. So we negotiated that. So actually, the new buyer is going to wait until he gets in the house, and then he's going to put the new roof on. We were able to give him a credit towards helping him buy it, and everybody's happy. So it's not like, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm not going to do that, and I'm going to walk away if you don't do that. No, we work it so that both sides work together. Both sides are happy. Nobody feels that I was forced to do something I don't want to do. And then you're going to enjoy many nights laying on that pillow saying, we are so happy to be in this home because we love Florida. I just heard of the new hurricane things, and it's not going to be a bad season this year. So come on down.
Now, once you buy the house, or once you find that house, Ma, one of the questions a lot of people have, and they're wondering about getting the mortgage, are there hidden costs involved with buying above just buying the house?
Well, they're not hidden. They're right out in front. People just don't like to understand it. Well, the first thing that we'll do with you, well, as I said in the beginning, the first thing you're going to do is go out and get a pre-approval. And we are hooked up with quite a few mortgage brokers, and each one has a little something else depending on what you're looking for. And so they get you pre-approved. So now we have a paper that says you can buy a $350,000 home. Well, guess what? You coming in at a $250,000 home. I never show that 350 price. I will call the mortgage broker and say, I need one for 250,000. We don't play our hands. We don't throw our cards on the table. And we just tell you what we're going to come in with, because I'm playing poker this whole game. We always play with the cards. We've heard someone say that at least recently. So we get you in there. The mortgage broker will lay it out. Usually you're going to pay the mortgage broker about $6,000 with the expenses of getting the mortgage. They go through an awful lot. So, and then we do a net sheet for you. And what that net sheet will do is I throw anything. I mean, it's not actual. It's not the one that's going to be on their closing table, but I'm pretty good at just getting numbers in there, my numberless numbers. But I know about what it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you $500 for this. It's going to cost you $700 for this. That's like $6,000 to the mortgage broker. By the time we get to the bottom, you're going to know approximately what you're going to have to come to the closing table with. And because some people think, well, I'm going to pay $600,000 for the house, they have $600,000. No, you might have to come with $75,000. You may have to come with $100,000. You don't know what it is, but by the time I have that paper ready for you, you know what the maximum it's going to cost you. So you're not surprised. In the old days, people would go to the closing table and have no idea what they were going to pay for a house. And that's why a lot of these old time stories have come from. You can't believe them. You can't believe them. Oh, yes, you can believe them. We know what we're doing. We give you the right numbers. We don't want you surprised. I would much rather have you come with $5 more in your pocket than you have to come with $5 less in your pocket and put it on the table. So that's how we work it, so that you will know. But before actually we put the contract in, approximately what this is going to cost you. It's not as rocket science. It's all numbers. And that part of the numbers I can do.
Well, that's actually all in the offer package. Before we even make that offer package to the seller, we go through all these numbers. We give you the net sheet before we even present it. So
Correct.
this is why you're very comfortable with the numbers before we even present to the seller.
Right. And then we
Because the
know.
whole concept is everybody knows where you are at that point.
Right. And at that point, also, we know that we're going in at this price. So now, say you have to go up $10,000. Well, I have a little star on it. And I say, if we have to go up or down, these are the numbers that are going to change. And because they're all by percentages, the taxes will change, different things are going to change on that. So you can pretty well know if we have to adjust what the price is going to be by looking at that sheet, you will know that you still feel comfortable. And because the number one is, we don't want you buying a house that you can't afford. I don't want you to call me in 2 years and say, I can't afford this house. We haven't eaten in a year, so please get rid of this house for us. We don't want that. We want you to know above and beyond that you can afford this house.
That's why we like working with buyers, because we do work throughout all the questions ahead of time. We want to make sure that you're comfortable with mom with her stories, me with the numbers. Between the two of us, we come to a conclusion that makes you comfortable putting an offer in. And obviously, a lot of those comfort levels come from our team, with the mortgage broker, with the title company, with your insurance agent. There's a lot of people that get involved with this process as we get to as we get to the closing table. Some of the things I was talking about recently were interest rates. Everybody talks about interest rates. Mom, the interest rate level we are at now is actually historically lower than the 50-year average, and which the problem is, 5 years ago, people were getting 2s and 3s, and I think that was the norm. Current market in the sixes and low 7s is actually a pretty good number. The difference is the housing prices have gone higher, so it thwarts a little bit that number. So that's why you have to negotiate. You have to understand the numbers of where we're at, and you got to make sure you pay off your credit cards. Don't be sitting there and coming to us with $100,000 in credit card debt, thinking you can buy $1 million house unless you're making $2 million a year.
And don't go buy a car. Don't go co-sign a car. Don't go co-sign a house or an apartment for your kids. In fact, that's just number one. Don't co-sign for anybody. Do you know why? Because you need to go buy something. And you know what that co-sign means? That's like a mortgage in your name. The reason you co-signed it was to say, in case they can't pay for it, I will pay for it. So the mortgage company says, okay, well, let's see, that's a $300,000 and they co-signed it. So that's now showing you owe $300,000. So do not co-sign unless you know it's going to affect the amount of something that you can't buy now. You may not buy a car. You may not be able to buy a new house. There's so many things that cosign can interrupt with your credit. You don't go use your credit card. You put your credit card away. You put your checkbook away. You put your everything away. When you buy a house, you stop buying. You don't buy anything. You don't buy the drapes for the new house. You don't buy the bed for the new house. You don't buy anything. I had a man one night. They're multimillionaires, and they were putting a mortgage on this house, and they went and bought $75,000 worth of furniture for their house. They put it on his credit card because he said for some reason if the house didn't go through, he could just cancel the credit card and never take the furniture out. Well, he almost didn't get the credit, and he could have just bought it. But he decided, and interest rates were low. And so he couldn't believe that with his checkbook had enough money to pay for it, everything along the way, and then he almost got denied. And so you just got to understand, you cannot buy anything when you're buying a house. Big time, big time, big time.
Absolutely.
That's a true story.
Very true. Very true. Well, and don't want to scare anybody because the buying process is intimidating enough. And one of the things that we like doing is making it more comfortable and we hope a little bit fun. Now, you're going to scratch your head, you're going to yell and scream, you're going to be mad from time to time when we ask for another form to be signed because obviously we're going to do something else and get another signature on a form that you're wondering what we're doing. But trust me, when we do that, we know what we're doing and we're not trying to drive you crazy. But now is actually a great time to buy because inventory is through the roof. There's a lot of opportunities for you. Mom, when there's a lot of inventory, and as we know, because we've got listings, not a lot of buyers out there right now. So what's that do to help a buyer looking in this market?
I want to know where you are. There's no reason you're not here. You have a big, major cold spell coming in up north. And it's what, 75 here today, 80? It's beautiful. It's going to get a little chilly this weekend, but when we have chill, that means it went to 60. I mean, guys, people, get out down here. We need you. If you're sitting in Canada, don't tell me you don't want to come to the United States. It's 54 degrees below zeros in some places out in Winnipeg, out in the fields, and you don't want to come to where it's 80 degrees? Come on. Let's get down here. Let's get these homes are sitting here waiting for you. You can rent them when you're not here. You can keep them and come back and forth. This is a great place to come and own a home, a second home. Don't wait. Why wait until prices go up and interest rates come down? You know that's how it works. Interest rates come down, houses go up. By the way, I bought my house in 06 and I paid 6.25% interest. It's now paid off. And because I ended up refinancing it, you can always refinance when things go down. And then you're down to a 1.5% mortgage, and then your payments are all going towards the principal. And next thing you know, your house is paid off. And there's nothing nicer than sitting in a home where you don't pay a mortgage payment every month. Really, really nice, especially if you're a realtor. So it's been a rough year. And so we really would look forward to for all the realtors. And let me just say, I don't know why or when y'all think that you need, as buyers, when I see y'all, need to do all the work and that you just have to tell us what you want to see and then we're going to take you to that house. That's not our job. Our job is to help you, put you on listings. We have it. You come to our website. If you come to my website or Mike's, and which is a Remax website, which is international, then you find the house. And then I can see it, he can see it, but that's the only person who can see it. So you're not going to get a lot of phone calls. I know you have tried. You have put them out on these other websites, national websites. And guess what? Every time you touch a home, go buy a home, pause on a home, because these computers are good in the back end, they know you've looked. And 5 agents have advertising on those. So they get notified that you stopped. Well, what if you stopped on 5 houses yesterday? Guess what? That's 25 realtors that were notified that you were looking for a home. And then tomorrow you go out and look at 5 more. Now you got 25. Now you have 50 realtors trying to reach you. And what do I hear? I don't want to hear talk for another realtor. Well, you did it. And you say, I didn't give you my number. The other day, a woman said, I didn't give you my name and number. I did. Well, here's your email. Yes, that's my email. I said, is this your phone number? She said, yes. I said, well, I didn't make it up. I said, you were on one of those websites and it just automatically sent it in. If you're on my website, I am the only one who's going to know that you're looking. And I can see what you're looking at. I can see when you start to look at a house 3 times, 4 times. I'll give you a call then and I'll say, hey, you like that house? You want to go see it? You want me to go take photographs of it? Mike's great at going out and taking photographs. And so, we're there for you. We're there walking the system with you. We notice that you're changing something. Oh, look at this. They said they only want 1-story house and now they're only looking at 2 stories. So we'll expand your search to a 2-story. All of a sudden, you're not here, but you've gone down to Fort Myers. Aha, I can turn that switch and give you some Fort Myers property. So when you work with one group, one team, you're going to get better served. We want to serve you. That's our job. Our job is to put you in the right house. And Mike Baker and Pat Baker are both very good at this. And by the way, are you a veteran? Are you a teacher? We have the Heroes program. Mike is very good. He brought that to me and I came kicking and screaming with it because we have to give up to 25% of our commission. We don't give it up. We give it to you. At closing, we can write you a check from us to you because you served our country. And we want to say thank you to all you veterans out there. And that's not from a company. It's not from somebody else. It's from the Baker Global team. We say thank you to all the veterans out there. We want to give you back 25% of of what we make on your home. And we say thank you.
Yeah, it's the Homes for Heroes program, and we've been affiliates now for 3 years. It's law enforcement, teachers, firefighters, healthcare workers, and our military veterans. And it doesn't cost you anything. You've already paid the ultimate sacrifice by joining and serving our great nation. And so that's what we do. It's my way of saying thanks because, hey, I did it because mom's a teacher. My father was military. And so it was my way of saying thank you because, hey, at every baseball field I walked on as an umpire, I was protected by law enforcement. So I was looking for a way to give back, to stand apart from everybody else. And so this is our way of saying thank you. And it's whether you buy or sell a house, we're giving back to you and to make sure that you're taken care of. And it's our way of, like I said, saying thank you. So, and it took me a while to get mom to come on board with it. I have to admit, she was like, well, no, but she's got the heart for it now. So it's all good. And now the biggest advice for buyers right now, mom, besides working with us, is the right home is out there. Don't let fear hold you back.
Well, the best one is to use us because we're good. And I will tell you, we're so good that we're actually helping one of the new home companies. We go out and we work on their homes 1 day a week because they didn't have enough realtors working with them. So we're actually helping a new buyer, a new builder sell their homes. And of course, then you become part of us and we can take you to all the homes once again. And we can show you all that's happening. So we're very, very involved in our community. We've been around a long time. I've been here a long time. He has just come down here, but I know him. I've been around Mike for a long time. A long time.
A long time.
It's terrible when your kids are now able to go to the over 55 communities. That was the hardest thing I ever realized. How could I have a son who goes to the over 55 communities? It's a terrible thing. But
well, one of these days, Mom, you might be able to make it to the 55 community.
I know, I'm working on it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
By the way, buyers, this is something brand new. Del Webb in Parrish, where we are right now, is coming out with not an over 55 community, but an over 40 community. Because people who are between 40 and 55, they want to play pickleball. They want the activities that they have in the 55 communities, but they couldn't get into the 55 communities. So they're actually coming out with a new community for the over 40 group. And I don't know what they're going to do. Over 55 is a federally protected group. That's why they can say no children. That's why they can say you have to be 55, you have to be 40s, you're not protected. So I don't know how they're going to do this, but they can't legally stop somebody who's 39 from going in there. But it's going to be geared for the interest of the people who are in their 40s and 50s. So it's going to be fun to watch. New things are happening every day. And
That's the
we
cool
have a
thing about real estate. There's
what?
always something changing, always something adapting. The economy goes up and down. Everything happens. Political offices change power. Everything changes. But the biggest thing is we're here to be on top of what's happening and make sure that you've got the information when it changes. And we enjoy that part of it. So, hey, I just want to say thanks for joining us. If you have any comments or anything you'd like to hear, feel free, DM, leave a comment, shoot us an email, send up smoke signals. We'll figure out how to get them. But hey, let's have a conversation. We're looking for buyers. We've got listings. We were looking for buyers. We got a couple of listings that have been sitting for a minute or two. Give us a call. We might have that house that you're looking for. And if it's not one of those, there's plenty of listings available. Give us a call. Let us help you find that house. Mom, you got anything else to add?
Just put a brand new listing on today. It's on 2 acres in Parrish, and it's a 3-bedroom, no, it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house on 2 acres, a brand new roof, brand new floors, brand new washer and dryer, brand new, everything. So love to have it, love to show it to you. And we have a great home on 5 acres in Parrish. And the one thing about this land, and we also have 5 acres for sale. One of the things that people are forgetting, if you haven't noticed, the builders are finding pieces of land and putting in houses. Very shortly, you're not going to be able to find land. So if you have always wanted to have a house with some land on it, come check us out. We've got some. There's some out here still, and it's going fast. It really is. And people will come and say, oh, that's too much money. Well, guess what? Then it's sold, and they go, oh, I really wanted that. Well, guess what? You should have bought it because someone's going to buy it, and the land is really pretty. So give us a call. I'll be glad to shoot you out the listings on the new properties that have just come on the market. And we are out there. If you've got a house to sell, we'll be glad to sell it because now we have buyers who want to buy a home.
Last I checked, God's not making new land anywhere. We're stuck with what we got. So, but thanks a lot, everybody. Mom, I appreciate you joining us once again. It's fun. Like I said, I believe next week we'll either have the home inspector or another guest joining us. So we're going to have some fun. So thanks a lot, everybody. This is the Living the Florida Lifestyle podcast. We are the Baker Global team. All of our contact information is going to be in the notes below. We got plenty of social media between both of our YouTube channels. We both have Instagram. We both have Facebook accounts. If you can't find us, you're not looking.
And I just want to say the new North River Park has opened. And if you go to my YouTube channel, I have a video on it. And I don't have one for the pool yet, but the other one is on. And it's absolutely an amazing park that has just been opened for the residents of Parrish.
Perfect. Mom, thanks. I'll talk to you soon.
Perfect. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.